Welcome back to more Skyrim with Gaming here, playing on my Khajiit Ranger, now character level 13. And the theme for today is crowd control. And on this character, I've been planning for the long run that I'm going to use shouts to handle mobs of enemies. And of course, the challenging parts in the early game are when you have to fight multiple enemies at once, because when they can mob you, it becomes really hard to manage space and so on. And I thought I would take on a couple of areas in kind of the mid-game that have this aspect of the challenge. First up on that list is Swindlers Den, and I just kind of enjoy this little cave. I think it has pretty good pacing. There's a lot of things that I like about it, even though it does have some kind of buggy terrain. And it doesn't hurt either that you get some really excellent gear for a light armored one-handed character by killing Kanatu and taking his stuff. And a steel crossbow is better than the one I'm using right now, so that's certainly not a bad find. Anyway, so this, yeah, pretty good loot in this little area. It's moderately difficult, but not horribly so. And that was just a pretty terrible whiff. And this is the War Axe of Frost that I picked up when I was going through Bleak Falls, and I'm just going to use it until I exhaust the charge on it and then dump the thing. Unfortunately, the guy in this first room has gone off and alerted, probably, well, hopefully he hasn't traveled too far, because I'd rather not have the entire cave woken up and fighting me all at once. But so far, so good. I've got pretty heavy investment in my combat skills. And there's just always a cluster of guys in this next room. And I'd rather not have this fight turn into a battle for this corridor if I could help it. But it's just kind of unavoidable sometimes. Just because once there's an archer or two back there, it's really hard to advance upwards until you've killed them all. What I can do, I guess, is just get a Alteration buff on. And okay, now I can see two crossbow guys in the back, which suddenly makes this a very unappealing prospect to try and charge up this walkway. Happily, I have a lot of these crappy iron bolts, and I'm just gonna unload on these guys. And one potion of insight, so I guess that was worth it. Yeah, so this room tends to get really messy. In an ideal world, we would be one-shotting Kanatu at the start of the fight. But it's pretty hard to do that without getting instantly killed by the other guys nearby. So let's see if we can get somebody else instead. That was not very effective. Ooh, that health count pretty scary, but at the very least, I've got some gear. And I think, well, I guess I probably should not put on gear in the middle of a fight. That's just kind of cheesy, so I'm not going to do it that way. But let's try. Oh, there's so many of them. Yeah, pretty cheesy. Really, this is all just lead in to eventually being able to fight Khajiit. So I'm just gonna put on the gauntlets. I think those are better than the shrouded gloves. And Khajiit is really, really scary. And you just kind of have to catch him by surprise like that. But he's got the Ring of Eminent Wielding, which is just totally awesome item for this level. Probably actually one of the best items I can have throughout the entire game. So that's the reason to go ahead and actually do all of this, is because that ring is ridiculously good. So, as a result of all this, I think I've got Allian's Cuirass or the Hammerfell Chainmail, which some frost resist is nice. The coif doesn't really do anything that I care about. The boots are, well, about the same as Elaine's boots, a little bit lighter. But really, the advantage is that now I've got the gauntlets plus the Ring of Eminent Wielding, which is better than this health ring, which I bought a little while back. Now let's see what other kind of loot we got from the chest at the end. One potion of insight. Not wildly exciting, but I'll take it. Next up is Briar Lodge. This is another one that can be kind of hairy just because you're fighting a lot of guys in close quarters. I know there's a stealthy way to do it, but I'm not really interested in that. We're just going to kind of bully our way through here.
You picked a bad time to get lost. What you gonna do, huh? What you gonna do?
And I can definitely feel the damage difference that I've gotten from the gear upgrades that I picked up. It's pretty noticeable, I would say. Because even those guys in pretty heavy armor are going down very, very fast. Now, in this area, well, heck, maybe I can actually do it the stealthy way. Wouldn't that be cool?
I'll never do another thing.
At the very least, maybe I can make the fight happen outside rather than inside. And it always feels kind of cheap to come outside the door and then find yourself surrounded by like 4 guys, but... that's just how it goes sometimes.
Victory or Stormcloaks! Not here.
And yeah, not much commentary happening here. I'm just kind of focused on kiting these guys around without getting killed.
Take this and hold on to it.
Oh, come on.
Never back down.
Is someone there?
And as long as I can keep these guys from ganging up on me really effectively, I can take them one by one pretty easily. However, now that I'm out of stamina, that is not quite so much the case.
I'll show you what real. Mercy on you.
And this is where the Khajiit speed, the movement speed boost for Khajiit really makes a difference. Is
Take this and hold on to it. I'll be back for it later.
terrible timing there.
Don't lose it. No time to talk. Sneak over.
Terrible, terrible timing.
Kill you. I mean it.
Alright, I want to see if there's any extra loot to be found. A Stone of Baronziah that I have no interest in collecting. I guess a fairly useless skill book, and we're done here. So that's about all I had in mind to do for today. I just mostly wanted to collect the reward for Swindlers Den, because that's just some really, really useful gear. Gives me a nice damage boost. My next plan for this character is I'm collecting as many Potion of Insight as I can and dumping that all into smithing, because I'm still using pretty cruddy weapons. I just haven't found anything better than this steel war axe that I've been using forever. So I want to get at least up to start using elven gear, which I can do in just, you know, a handful more Potion of Insight. Maybe I'll get a few for turning in this quest. But I just need to get smithing up to, I think, 50 and then go find myself an elven smithing book. Anyways, if you're enjoying the series, hit subscribe. More to come, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.